This hurricane, it means business. As you can see right here, the tropics are heating up as we are tracking the strengthening system out in the Gulf. Now, we may see major impacts from this storm. Guys, we're talking about maximum sustained winds up to 100 miles per hour. And the
current path means that we're going to see effects from Sarasota all the way up to Citrus County. Hey, don't ignore this alert, because if it was real, that means it's time for you and your family to get prepared for a hurricane. Hurricane season is no joke, and that's why right now we are getting you storm ready. Hurricane season is here, and the time to prepare is now. It has been less than a year since Hurricane Idalia made landfall as a Category 3 storm, and months since tornadoes touched down in Crystal River, Clearwater, and St. Pete. So from what should be in your kit
to the factors that make Tampa Bay so vulnerable to storm surge,
the outlook this year, and lessons learned.
Our team is keeping you informed, prepared, and connected.
This is Storm Ready. Most of the year, the Sunshine State lives up to its name. But during hurricane season, we know how quickly that can change.
Tropical storm Idalia continues to gather strength. It will become a hurricane today.
It's been 9 months since Hurricane Idalia devastated Florida's west coast and parts of the Panhandle.
It came in fast. We came out here this morning and we watched the highway get taken over in 30 minutes.
It's just ruined. I mean, everything in there is kind of lost.
We saw strong winds in the Keys, sunken boats in Sarasota, washed out roads in Tampa, and entire neighborhoods flooded in Citrus County. And that was before it made landfall in the Big Bend region. The storm brought winds of up to 125 miles per hour and storm surge up to 12 feet in some areas, and the storm center was 100 miles offshore.
So we've already had to rescue a number of people that have driven into water they can't see through.
The damage across Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas topped $3 billion. The Category 3 storm came during what some forecasters initially predicted to be a well below average season. We now know 2023 stands as the fourth most active season since 1950. And it's not just Idalia on some Floridians' minds. Some families are still making repairs after 2022's Hurricane Ian and 2017's Hurricane Irma.
It still needs a lot of help and a lot of work. Some of these people just can't afford to put anything back together.
And just weeks after last year's Hurricane Idalia came a second blow, as severe weather brought tornadoes that touched down in Crystal River and Clearwater.
It ripped the walls off in my living room and part of my roof.
Hurricane season runs from June 1st through November 30th, but strong systems can still form outside of that time frame, as we saw with December's no-name storm that flooded homes in Shore Acres, and January's tornado in St. Pete. So as communities continue to rebuild, we are helping you prepare for a new season.
It's important that you know your evacuation zone now, before we ever have a storm on the radar. So we've made them easy for you to find. Just scan this QR code to download the 10 Tampa Bay app, then tap on the weather page.
That is key, because water can rise quickly and put you in a potentially dangerous situation. It's something we witnessed live on TV as 10 Tampa Bay's Emerald Morrow covered Idalia's impacts in Hernando County last year.
As you can hear, we have some airboats out there trying to make a rescue. As a matter of fact, it looks like...
Here they come right now. Take a live look, guys.
Our cameras caught it all on live TV.
Take a live look right now.
An astonishing rescue. A mom and her young son whisked to safety during Hurricane Idalia.
Yeah, everybody's safe and sound, but it is certainly, we would have preferred, obviously, had they evacuated the night before.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
We're on Pine Island. We live on Pine Island.
Okay.
And we were trying to get off the island, and it was just a little bit too deep for our car. I have a Toyota Camry that's so low to the ground, so I couldn't get off the island. I have my 12-year-old son with me.
Corey Smith and her son Tyler were stuck in their car on this bridge to Pine Island.
We got down like halfway down the causeway, and it was just too deep.
And dangerous. Just 6 inches of water can stall some cars, and a foot can float them away.
At the point of rescue, the conditions weren't good.
It was a sketchy ordeal.
But he said, no, we can do it. I said, let's go do it. He said, let's go do it. So off we went.
Captain Daniel Papa and driver engineer Kenny Easton risking their own safety in the rescue.
We brought the airboat up as far as we could. Him and I jumped out, put life preservers on the lady and her son.
How did you feel?
It was a little scary.
Today, the area looks a lot different, drier, safer.
All of this out here was
underwater,
just completely underwater.
A reminder of the hazards of a hurricane.
And that's why it's so important to heed those warnings, because if it's unsafe for us to come out, you're going to have to ride the storm out. This particular case that happened last year was kind of one in 100 situation where we were able to go in.
So, know your evacuation zone, your flood zone, and that the two are different. Meaning flood risk could exist even if you're out of an evac zone, which, by the way, can even vary block to block.
Just listen to the experts. I mean, you know, every local station has, you know, what you're supposed to be doing. If everyone would have listened this time, we wouldn't have had to be out here.
The good Lord was shining on them because they were able to make it to the victim and make it back safely, which certainly wasn't assured when they left the shore.
Dangerous flooding can happen anywhere, even areas like this with a low flood risk. However, in the case of storm surge, the greatest threat to life and property occurs along the coast.
That is because storm surge is water from the ocean being pushed towards the shore by winds from a tropical cyclone above normal high tide. However, storm surge itself is actually a very complex concept because it takes into account even the slightest change in storm intensity, size, forward speed, angle of approach, pressure, and maximum wind speeds. And in the case of Tampa Bay, there are two very specific features along our coastline that make us extremely vulnerable to rising water. The first has to do with our shallow continental shelf. As you can see way over there, it extends far offshore from the Florida Gulf Coast, meaning the seafloor gently slopes away from the coastline. I'm going to get out of here before this gets dangerous. Because as winds from a storm push that water towards the coast, the water has nowhere to go, creating a higher storm surge than, say, an area with a steeper drop-off. The second factor against us is the size and shape of the actual bay. The geography of the land can act as a funnel for water to enter the bay, sending water even higher onto land. According to FEMA, just 1 inch of water can cause roughly $25,000 of damage to your property.
Within hours, entire communities can be devastated. That's why if you're told to evacuate, we say run from water, hide from wind.
Supercharged, aggressive, a blockbuster season. These are actual headlines being used to describe this year's hurricane season.
We are here to bring you the facts, not fear about what to expect. Every year, scientists with AccuWeather, Colorado State University, and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration put out their predictions. And the fact is, we are gearing up for a very active season.
The forecast that we put out this past April is the most that we've ever forecast with our April outlook.
On average, the Atlantic hurricane season generates about 14 named storms, 7 of which become hurricanes, and 3 tend to reach major hurricane status, which means a Category 3 or higher. CSU's April forecast is calling for 23 named storms and 11 hurricanes, with 5 of those becoming major hurricanes.
There are 2 main reasons for this forecast. The first reason is due to an abnormally warm Atlantic basin for this time of year. Warm waters act as fuel for tropical development and tropical systems in general. The second factor is due to a diminishing El Nino pattern and a transition towards a La Nina pattern, especially throughout the late summer into fall, essentially the peak of hurricane season. La Nina means cooler waters in the Pacific, and this interaction between the Pacific waters and the atmosphere causes the Pacific jet stream to actually shift northward. This creates less wind shear over the tropical Atlantic, and less wind shear allows for storms, including hurricanes, to be better organized and strengthened.
We can't say months in advance when or where storms are going to strike. So the odds of landfall for any one particular spot along the coast in any year is quite low. But in general, more active seasons do have more landfalling hurricanes.
Keep in mind, this is just one of several meteorology groups putting out forecasts this year. Take a look. NOAA's May outlook is even higher. But just because we are expecting a very active season does not mean we will have a ton of landfalling systems. Many of these could just be fish storms and stay out there in the Atlantic or open water.
But remember, regardless of the forecast, it only takes one storm to cause destruction and devastation.
It's been more than 6 months since an EF2 tornado touched down along US 19 and Crystal River, and now local business owners are showing us how it changed the layout of their community.
And the tornado picked it up, rolled it upside down, and it rolled it across the parking lot and dumped it right here in the canal, right up against the seawall.
What they are now dealing with, and we'll show you which areas have historically seen the highest number of tornadoes.
Technology being used right here in downtown St. Pete can help us predict how strong these storms will be to help keep you and your family safe.
As we get you storm ready, we know you have a lot of questions, so our team of weather experts are here to get you answers.
Hi, my name is Megan from Sarasota, and what should we pack in our hurricane kits?
Great question, Megan. Putting a hurricane kit together is kind of like preparing to go camping because you're going to be without power. So that involves non-perishable foods, right? Things that don't need to be refrigerated. Think about good foods for the kids too. Peanut butter and jelly. My kids love SpaghettiOs. And don't forget a can opener. Cereal's good, but remember, milk has to be chilled. You may not be able to do that. Cereal bars are really good. Talk about water now. 1 gallon of water per person per day for 7 days. So my family of 5 times 7 needs 35 gallons of water. But you don't need to buy all of that. If you have extra containers around, the water coming out of your tap right now is good to go to fill those up. Plenty of batteries and flashlights. Don't forget that. That is a great thing to have. Don't forget power bank for all of your devices. That's a good thing to keep those phones charged. A first aid kit is important. Everybody should have one. A lot of cleanup sometimes after hurricanes, and you can get cuts, scrapes, burns, that type of thing, and you want to keep those clean. Don't forget your prescriptions. Very important. And you're going to want 2 weeks worth of prescription medication before the storm arrives. Also cleanup, right? Paper towels, baby wipes, Lysol wipes, that type of thing. And last but not least, cash is king. Don't forget that, and don't forget your insurance policy paperwork. Put that in a nice Ziploc bag like this to keep it dry.
Hi, I'm Maria from Hillsborough County. How will I know when it's time to evacuate?
Maria, you're not the only one asking that question. The best thing that you could do right now is check your evacuation zone.
Each county will have them posted online like this. You can see everything in red is Zone A. Those are the areas that will be first if an order is issued. Those orders will come from city and county leaders, and the moment that happens, we will send alerts straight to your phone through our 10 Tampa Bay app. The key is to run from the water, hide from the wind. Evacuation orders are issued if flooding is a concern. And if you have to go, you don't have to go far. Just tens of miles, not hundreds of miles, to get out of the evacuation zone. You can either stay with friends or family, go to a hotel, or you can opt for one of the county hurricane shelters.
Hi, I'm Tammy Smith from Apollo Beach. How do I protect my home during a hurricane?
As a fellow homeowner, Tammy, that's also top of my mind. The first thing you'll want to do is make sure your home is covered.
Now's the time to review your insurance policy. If you need flood coverage, many policies take up to 30 days to go into effect, so don't wait until we're tracking a storm. You may also want to invest in shutters, plywood, or other hurricane-rated products to cover your windows. Get them now before they become a hot commodity ahead of a storm. Same goes for generators. Those go quickly. And when you use a generator, it's important to keep those outside, away from doors, windows, and vents that could let carbon monoxide in. And make sure to wait until the rain passes so it doesn't pose an electrical threat.
Now take a look around the outside of your home, especially at the trees. You'll want to trim any limbs that could come tumbling down in those hurricane force winds. Taking these extra steps now will save you the headache later.
As we expect an above-average hurricane season, those big-name storms aren't the only ones that could come our way. Severe weather can happen at any time. It's something families in Crystal River know all too well.
Total decimation down here. I could see the debris field all the way across 19.
Donald Markham witnessed how much damage a tornado can leave behind. He's the dive shop manager at Crystal River Kayak Company and one of the first to see what was left of their building after an EF2 tornado touched down in October of 2023.
The roof was completely torn off. All the inside walls were ripped out, and the pontoon boat was sitting on the trailer right here where we're standing. And the tornado picked it up, trailer and everything, flipped it upside down and rolled it down the hill. The only thing that stopped it from going into the canal was this tree right here.
Neighboring businesses describing a similar scene as they still work to fix some of the damage months later.
Well, we still need to fix this, but we actually have the parts. We just need to do that. We had all this sheetrock replaced up here. This was all fallen down when the tornado hit.
Sadly, it came just weeks after Hurricane Idalia flooded the area.
We had water up here from the hurricane, so we lost our flooring.
We took 1.5 feet of flood damage in that building, and literally days after we finished the repairs in that building and started putting product in was when the tornado came through.
As we expect to transition into a La Nina pattern, we could see more back-to-back storms developing. To give you some perspective, 2005 and 2020 were La Nina years, and both broke records. When it comes to tornadoes, the Florida Climate Center found the coast between Tampa Bay and Fort Myers has historically seen a higher number than most of the state, and rebuilding takes time.
It took us about 6 weeks to get everything to a point where we could come back up here to the storage unit building and reopen up here.
So as you prepare for hurricane season, our friends in Crystal River have this message to share.
And this is a piece of advice that I offer to everybody in Florida. You prepare for the season, not for the storm.
And there are some cool ways we can track those storms as they get closer to your community. We'll show you how in just 2 minutes. There are several ways we can understand and predict how strong these storms will be to keep you safe, and that includes technology being used right here in downtown St. Pete.
These were ones we sent into hurricanes over the last 3 years now. We position them around the Atlantic and the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico in likely areas of hurricane passage.
These are sail drones, and they go right into the bear cage of storms, far too dangerous for us to be.
So when a hurricane does come by, we can sail into the eye wall and record what's happening at that air-ocean interface.
And it's that ocean and water interface that a lot of the transfer of energy happens, and that's how meteorologists understand what's going to happen with the storms, how intense they're going to be.
Sail drones captured this incredible video from inside Hurricane Idalia. The uncrewed surface vehicle is equipped with sensors and cameras ready to relay data back in real time.
So we're talking about sea surface temperature, we're talking about air temperature, relative humidity, wind speed, wave heights, all of those things. We put a dozen out last year for hurricane season. And then we also have some that are in the southern hemisphere right now doing some ocean mapping.
So from their ocean mapping headquarters here in St. Pete to the storms miles out at sea, this technology is helping prepare you for what's to come.
While sail drones travel by sea, our famous hurricane hunters travel by air. And we got a behind-the-scenes look at how it all works.
We fly anywhere between 8,000 to 12,000 feet. They call us the hurricane hunters because our goal is to hunt for the eye of the storm.
So we're here today with Lieutenant Commander Kevin DeRemus. That's your office right there, right? Tell us about it.
Yes. This is Miss Piggy, one of 2 P-3 Orions that we purposely fly into some of the worst weather in the country. But this is a research platform and a reconnaissance platform for chasing storms.
What is the typical flight? Is it 8 to 10 hours?
On average, it's 8 to 10 hours, yep. So this is where our AVAPS operator sits. So the AVAPS operator has a very important job. They control this device right here, which takes dropsons like these on the chair. It's basically a weather balloon in reverse. We launch it out of the airplane. It sends back temperature, pressure, humidity, dew point, and wind speed, all the way from the airplane down to the surface of the water. And we'll launch 40 to 50 of those in a flight, and all the different quadrants of the storm. So the Hurricane Center and the Hurricane Research Division has a good picture of what's going on in the storm in real time.
Expect some big changes to how we forecast hurricanes this year. In just 2 minutes, how it could help you prepare your home and your family earlier. Oftentimes, people confuse the 5-day forecast cone, also known as the cone of uncertainty, with where the effects of a storm will be. In reality, that cone only represents where the center of the storm may go. Storm size and shape can vary, and because of that, the weather associated with each storm can vary in location and strength. This year, the National Hurricane Center is adding an experimental graphic that will take the 5-day cone and add on top of it all of the hurricane watches and warnings that are in place. The goal is to give you a better idea of what to expect along the storm's path. Another change, they are extending the wind radius forecast graphic out from 3 days to 5 days. That shows you where the tropical storm force and hurricane force winds are expected to be and when. The National Hurricane Center is also going to issue tropical storm watches and warnings sooner when necessary. In the past, they've only issued these during their full updates, which come out at 5 a.m., 11 a.m., 5 p.m., and 11 p.m. Now they can issue them in between those updates. This should help give you an advance notice.
Here at 10 Tampa Bay, we are your hurricane headquarters.
So we will be here to help you all season long.
Make sure you download our free 10 Tampa Bay app.
There, you'll find more hurricane hacks.
We'll send alerts straight to your phone whenever we're tracking a storm.
And of course, we'll keep you informed, prepared, and connected.